You should let me do it once.
Your clap is trash.
Wait, let me get my little bicep out there. Oh shit, I missed it.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with just one more video, joined today by a returning very special guest, Naya.
Hey guys.
Listen, viewer requested video AMS, Alpha Male Strategies, why you can't keep the women you really like. Anything to say before we get started?
This is my first AMS video and I am looking forward to it.
Are you familiar with AMS?
I'm familiar because I watch other videos on the channel, but I'm prepared to, see what he's talking about. And y'all know how I do.
All right, well, without further ado, let's just get right in it.
What's up, guys? So yesterday, one of my subscribers asked me why he can't keep the women he really want. And guys, this is actually what led me to finding dating coaches on YouTube, because I know that in my life this kept happening too. And so once I learned it was an easy fix. Guys, basically you became a bitch. Understand that you as the man, you have masculine energy. She as the female, she has feminine energy. And the second you start getting pussy whipped, you start moving into your feminine energy. You start moving away from your purpose and you start making that bitch your priority. That's gonna turn her off. I know that might be what she say she want, but that's not what she wants. She wants a man that's focused on his priorities and put everything else before her. She wants to keep chasing your validation. Now she's trying to get your validation, but you never give her your validation. Now, part of the problem with this is the social programming. The shit you see on TV and all the music show you the man cuddling up with the girl on the couch and sitting there eating popcorn, watching fucking Care Bears and shit like that, cuddling and kissing all night. But I want you guys to think about something. Think about back to your parents and your grandparents. Do you ever remember them doing some little fruity ass shit like that? Do you ever remember your granddaddy sitting on the couch, cuddled up with your grandma, watching TV with his arm around her, eating popcorn and shit and watching some bullshit chick flick? Hell no. This is some social feminist programming shit that they done put on us that done pretty much turned us all to fucking pussy whip beta males. Where we sit there and we think it's cool to sit there on the couch and fucking and kick back and eat ice cream watching fucking Shark Tank and Dateline. Guys, listen here. For the life of me, you got to be about your fucking purpose. Now, this is one reason, another reason why the women like the thugs, because they never put them as a priority. They basically treat them like shit and make the women constantly chase their validation. Guys, love is a game. Women are trying to win the game. The second she gets you booty whipped, the second she gets your validation, she start to get bored with you. A woman want a guy that she constantly got to chase his validation. Now, it's a little test along the way that women gonna start doing and start seeing if you're getting emotionally weak. She'll start showing up late for dates. She'll start being disrespectful. Guys, you have to always check your woman. She's gonna constantly test, and you don't check her in a mean, nasty way, because one way to pass a test, to not pass a test, is to get emotional. So if your woman is being disrespectful or saying something, you handle it in a strong masculine way, but you don't yell and you don't holler, because at that point you're getting emotional. You're moving into your feminine. Women act emotional. Men stay steady and strong, and they say what they mean what they say. They don't start yelling and all that shit. That's feminine energy. Shit like that is what's gonna turn her off.
So, let's dig in. I'll let you start.
There's nothing for me. There's nothing to start on. Everything that he's saying is undeniably true. There's nothing that he's saying that is so obtuse or so callous or so, right? Like, he's speaking in a way where I think he's just boiling down the nature and the differences between gender in you know, some of the words that he using is crass. Like, I get that. But like at the same time, like I don't think that he's saying anything that goes against the ways that I think, like the learnings that I have of women over the past however many years, like
however many.
So with that being said, do you agree with what he's saying? Do you disagree with what he's saying?
So I think that he is a person that doesn't believe that as a man you should show any type of emotion. That's what I'm gathering from the way that he's talking. Is that any type of show of emotion is moving into your feminine energy. And I don't agree with that. I think that you can show emotion without being feminine. Males have emotions too. You're human. You have emotions. Every human has an emotion. If you don't have any emotion, you're a robot. I would like to believe that all men are not robots. That being said, men have emotions. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with expressing emotion sometimes. I don't think you have to be a robot. And that's the way that he's coming off, is anytime you show emotion, you're acting like a bitch. You move into feminine energy.
Words matter here. Words matter here. A man should never be in his feminine energy. Ever.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, technically all men start off as women. Y'all have 2 X chromosomes and then you morph into a Y, and that's how you become a man. That's
not the feminine energy that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the display of...
But why is it called feminine energy by acting with emotion though? Like, emotions don't have to be feminine energy, and that's the way that he's framing it, is that if you're acting with emotion, you're acting with feminine energy, which is not true. Men have emotions. That's male energy, period.
I think men have empathy. I think you can be emotional about something, but if you are emotional about something, depending upon what that thing is, you might lose your frame. And there's certain things in certain situations, in order to be a strong dude, you have to disregard your gut feeling of displaying emotions in a situation. Like, I think a lot of the problems that we have in our community that exist today in 2019, 2020 is people wanting to live in their feminine energy, in their emotional energy completely. And they just feel their ways through life. And they just feel like the government is against them. And they just feel like they can't do anything to get themselves out of a situation. But there's not data to support that.
But are you asserting that that's how women act? Like, everything is against us. Like, we can't do certain things. I know some very strong women who...
I think everything is about balance.
I agree. There has to be balance, but I don't think his argument... I don't think his argument presents any balance. It's like either you're hard as a rock or you're soft as a pillow.
I think there always has to be balance, but I think the anchor for dudes should be more masculine, traditionally masculine energy. And I think biologically, our biology supports that.
But what if the traditional masculine energy is toxic? It's not good.
Define toxic masculinity.
I mean, it can be defined in a lot of ways, but I would describe it as one who doesn't express emotion and who acts out in anger or other.
Anger is emotion.
It is, but it's not a healthy. Sometimes there's not a healthy expression. I'm not saying that you can be angry and it be healthy. You don't have to be angry and be, like, for lack of better words, belligerent or acting crazy. Like, I think there's a healthy dose of emotion that a man can show without being seen as feminine. And the way that he is displaying it and explaining it is that if you show any emotion, you are automatically feminine. And I feel like that's unhealthy for men to think like that. You have emotions, you need to be able to express and talk about things. And if you're upset, you need to be able to say that. If you're happy, you need to be able to say that. There's things that you don't like, you need to be able to say that and display emotion without it being attributed to being a feminine man because you're expressing emotion. And the way that he is characterizing is that if you're not being stoic all the time, you're feminine, and I don't agree with that.
I can definitely understand what you're saying. I think it's a you just have to be situational, right? Like it depends on your situation, how much emotion or right, like we did a video earlier about a dude who was claiming marriage before he was even dating somebody, right? Like he got way too emotional in his feelings too early. I think if he remained in his frame a little bit more, if he remained a little bit less emotional and more logical, he would have been able to sift through that situation without the inevitable heartbreak. Inevitable. I also think that in understanding your role and your place in society, you will be given information that will not help you excel as a man. You can be given information from the media that will not help you excel as a woman. So it's like, well, okay, in understanding that, how do you break down what is actually beneficial to you and what is not? And I think I get what you're saying. Not all emotions that are displayed are like a feminine in nature, but I do think it depends how a man displays those things, and the way that he might display those things will definitely either raise or lower the attraction from a woman.
So I think the way that, even the way that you're describing it, is like somewhat of a social construct of how we view what's masculine and what's feminine. And I think the way that we view that sometimes is not healthy, especially for men, because it makes you feel like when men are told when they're young boys, don't cry, don't do certain things that are seen to be more woman-like or more feminine. But you're still feeling those feelings, but now you're storehousing them inside yourself. You know what I'm saying? Those feelings are not there because you're not expressing them. They're still there, they're just inside of you. And sometimes that comes out in a toxic way in your relationships and how you deal with people and how you talk to people and how your interactions with people. So it's like, even though you're not expressing those emotions, you're still feeling them. Like, it doesn't change the fact that you feel them because you're not expressing them.
Well, I think like you being able to feel something is indicative on yourself. I think you have a choice. I think like the feelings are more choice-based. I can choose to feel anger, and then based off of this feeling of anger, which may or may not, the next man may not be angry of the situation, like road rage. I mean, that's a we can use road rage as an example. The same road rage type of situation might occur, and someone else might lose their goddamn mind. It might cause another accident because they let their emotions overcome them. But there's other people that would see what's kind of going on and just be like, live to drive another day. I think like it's how you, even if you feel it, it's how you choose to respond in the situation. And I think like, I'll go back to my earlier point, I think like there's a component of our society that just reacts to whatever they're feeling in the moment. Mm-hmm. Like these are the people that just say, I say what's on my mind. I just say what I think. And if you can't handle that, you're not strong enough for me. And I think that that's bullshit. I think you should be held responsible for the things that come out your mouth. Because the things that come out your mouth is indicative of who you are as a person. And it's indicative of how you deal with your emotions. I think humans are flawed. We are all flawed, like all of us. But one thing that I've come to know true through the years in my life is when I am more disciplined, when I can understand more empathy, right, of a particular situation, right? And also if I can withhold my initial emotional response in something and deliver a measured, calculated, well thought out response, I have always moved myself forward. And those are the times where I've had the greatest lessons in life.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you should be like a fly off the handle type of person. I'm not saying that, so let me clarify. I do think, and I know for me specifically, I do say to myself, like sometimes when I'm upset, I need time. so I can process my thoughts, and then I can talk to you and have a conversation and communicate how I'm feeling in a healthy manner, because I don't want to say things or do things that will make a relationship irreparable, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes when you do have to handle about a situation, you can that can be an end result. I just don't agree with the idea that men should stifle. You know what I'm saying? Don't stifle how you feel, like, because at the end of the day, if you're not communicating to me how you feel about certain things, I can't right whatever wrong you feel like I'm doing, because you're not communicating that. So give me the opportunity to say, let's have a conversation. How do you feel? Why did this upset you? How can I correct that? As if we're talking from even a friendship or relationship level, because I feel like sometimes I'm either going to want to correct you, or we're going to have a difference of opinion. Because sometimes I'll be like, you know what? You're right. Now that I see this from your point of view, I want to correct that behavior.
Yeah, but talking about what's wrong in a situation doesn't mean that you're emotional.
But I feel like that's what he's saying. Like, if you
No, I can tell you what's the problem. What does that do with emotion?
Because it's like, if you have an emotional response to it, like if you're like,
that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't do.
But it doesn't seem that like that's what he's saying.
Talk to people about things. No, I don't think he's saying that. I think an emotional response to it is what I'm saying you should not have. I'm saying that, like, if someone does you wrong, talk about it. If someone doesn't, if the logic is not adding up, talk about it. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like the way that he is coming across is if you show any form of emotion in a situation, it comes off as feminine, and that's where I disagree.
Well, let's keep on looking at his point.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll go back.
And I think I'll make a video about that later, but that's feminine energy. Men don't get emotional. Now, I know a lot of us were raised in fatherless homes, and most of us are emotional. But guys, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show y'all the mistakes of what you didn't get growing up, and why it's so hard for most men to keep women these days, especially the ones you want, is because you're too damn emotional and you're too damn feminine. And what you got to do is stay focused on your purpose. Always. You never put that bitch before your purpose. You make her try to compete with time with your purpose. She's constantly trying to compete with that, but she never wins that. She's always second place. Purpose, gym, friends, and then she's somewhere there at the end. And that's how you keep a woman that you really like. Now, it's easy to do this with the 6s and 7s and some of the 8s. But the second you get a girl that you really like a 9 or a 10, you're going to start getting emotionally weak. You're going to start being too physical, too touchy-feely, and that's going to turn her off. Why? Being touchy-feely, that's feminine behavior. Men don't act like that. Men are not with all that bun and shit. Men are about passion and drive, not sitting on the couch cuddling and shit, holding hands and kissing and shit. And I done told you guys this more than one time. That's why y'all turn these women off, because you act too fucking insecure. You seeking her validation. That's female behavior. Notice how much female behavior keep coming up? That's because most of us grew up in single parent homes, mostly the mother, and the social programming with the shit we see on TV with all the guys chasing the fucking female, which is feminine behavior. So what I'm trying to do here is trying to make you motherfuckers men again. Put this fucking feminine behavior behind and get on your purpose and your grind, and make these bitches your second on your list. Shit, third or fourth if you can. That's how you keep these bitches. I'm only focused on my purpose, guys. I work 60 to 8 hours a week, just depending on the week. And the girls have to fit in on the weekend where they can. I don't even try to see a girl Monday through Friday right now. Now, things will slow up in the summertime, but right now, Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, females are off limits because I'm only focused on my purpose. They have to get in where they fit in, which, of course, makes them chase me because I don't have fucking time for them. Now, if I start having fucking time for them, I start turning them off. So, guys, the key to all this shit is to stay focused on your purpose, to make sure you stay in your masculine energy by passing a fucking test. And you know, I know it's easy to say, easier said than done, but the only way to really do it is to stay focused on your purpose. And that way she stays seeking your validation. All right. Like, comment, subscribe.
So, I feel like he's not multidimensional a little bit. Because I think you can multitask. You can focus on more than one thing. You don't have to just be focused. You can focus on your career and still engage in a meaningful relationship. It doesn't have to be separate.
Okay.
I think that just the way that he's like, and then like, it just all seems like game. Like, you putting her last because you want her to seek your validation. Like, you want it to be a game. Like, we're grown. Like, why are you doing this? Like, if you're focused on your own shit and you can't focus on something else, say, you know, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship because I'm trying to focus on X right now. And some people will say that, and I will respect that. Like, okay, I'm not looking for that because I'm focusing on X. Or, you know, if you're in law school or med school or early in your career, you're focusing on different things, whatever the case may be. But the whole game of like, I'm gonna put her last so she seek my validation, so she wants me more, it's childish. Grow the fuck up.
I think you're taking his advice incorrect. I don't think that you're purposely thinking about it. What he's saying and what he's trying to do is to get men to stop being so focused on y'all. Because being focused on y'all will not attract you. Being focused on creating and building your kingdom will attract you. So it's not like there's a game in that. It's just a refocusing of priorities.
But the way that he is describing it is like a game.
He said of refocusing of priorities. He said that exactly.
But he said, keep your purpose, your friends, your job, whatever the case may be, and then her. And because that keeps her, she's gonna look for validation because you don't have time for her. So that sounds like a game to me. Like, it doesn't sound.
No, it's not. That's actually my life.
But the way that it sounds like is he's like, I keep her here to keep her in a certain space.
No, but see, listen. I'm saying that sounds like my life. I don't do that on purpose in order to keep women in a box. I do it because I'm focusing on improving me, because me is all who I got. Right. But the funny shit is, as I improve me, I improve the options that are waiting for the opportunity. So
if you're not purposely doing it, if you're just focused on you and if you're just focused on you doing what you're supposed to do as far as your career, whatever, and it attracts other women, I don't think anything's wrong with that. But the way that he's describing it sounds more like a game, because it's like, keep that bitch in her place, keep that bitch this, keep that. It doesn't sound like, hey, I happen to be doing it, I help me focus on this thing. I'm not looking for a relationship right now. If a relationship comes, I have my focus on this, and I can shift some focus to that, and it happening organically. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As a career focused woman, I focused early on school because I know I want to go to law school, and then like going to law school, I focused on law school, and then I wanted to get a job and I wanted to start in my career. So like, it's nothing wrong with focusing on your career and being career driven, but I don't think, and that the way that came off to me is the way he described it was like, I'm doing all these things and purposely putting her last. If she comes up and it's not that you can't focus on both. I think that there's a misconception that you can't be focused on your purpose and also in a successful relationship. I think you can do both. It's a division of time, yes. But I think if you're focused and you're not doing other things that are not part of your focus, your purpose, your relationship, and that's up to you to choose. It's up to you to choose those things. But I don't think that you have to be choosing between the two of those, and that you have to put her on the back burner because you're focused on your purpose. I don't agree with that train of thought.
All right.
I think you can do both.
Well, cool. Well, we can have a meeting at the mines, in an effect that we cannot meet at the mines. It's okay.
It's very okay.
Cool. All right, let's finish off the video right now. Last question, Naya, did you have fun today?
I did. I always have fun with pregnant too. It allows me to showcase personality, and it showcases really how we interact on a regular basis, which is very comical to me when I see it played back on camera. So. There
it is. All right. Well, listen, we got to continue to do more. You know, we got to make sure that the distance of videos that we do is not as distant as what these last couple have been. All right?
Bet.
Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Leave down in the comment box down below. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Feel free to leave a comment there as well, a video request, video suggestion, all of that good stuff. All right? Anything to say before we sign off?
Thanks for having me yet again.
I appreciate you. Until next time, YouTube. Pardon me.